The forestry sector is a lot more than just logs and paper, and our next guest is a major player in developing the industry, pushing it into new frontiers. He makes banknotes, passport paper, and specialty fibers. We're joined by Chad Wasilenkoff, Chairman and CEO of Fortress Paper. It's great to see you.
Thanks for having me out.
I mean, you're all over. You print banknotes in Europe. You're making the fancy new generation of wallpaper in Germany. But right now, there's a lot of focus on your mill in Quebec. You're converting it to make dissolving pulp, which is used to make rayon, yes, which is a substitute for nylon. But you've had some technical troubles getting with that conversion. Have you got those problems licked at this stage?
Yes, absolutely. It was always a very fast-track project. We had very aggressive timelines. We wanted to be obviously very transparent, though. So about a month or a month and a half ago, we let everyone know that we will have a delay. It was only a few-week delay, but I can rest assured, as of this morning, the mill is shut down. We're starting the conversion. We have about 800 workers on site as of this morning, putting the pieces back together. And it should be approximately November 7th we start up running with new dissolving pulp production.
How many workers will actually work at that plant once it's up and running?
Just over 300 direct jobs, and indirectly in the region about
3,000? How come so much support?
It's just the people out in the forest and the loggers and bringing the trees in, and we go through a lot of fibers, so it keeps a lot of the region going.
What kind of trees do you need to use?
We're using hardwood trees, apple, maple, and birch.
You actually use apple trees?
Aspen.
Oh,
sorry.
aspen, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. A lot of forestry guys are watching. Oh, Bell. Anyway, but that's your biggest asset, the mill in Quebec.
Yes, it'll be the most impactful by an order of magnitude. Right now, the spot price for dissolving pulp is about $1,650 to $1,700. It's climbing every week. Our all-in cash cost delivered to Shanghai will be in the low 600 range, so generating about $1,000 of EBITDA per ton, 200,000 tons per year. We anticipate, if the commodity holds, should generate about 200 million of EBITDA on a steady run rate once our mill is converted and the cogen is up and running, our green power.
So it's used for rayon, the fiber. Yes. Is that the main use of dissolving pulp?
Yes. There are several other uses. It's used in LCD screens, sausage casings, pharmaceuticals, different acetates, ethers, things like that. But the primary use, and about two-thirds of it, does go into rayon, which is a replacement for cotton.
Well, let's put up your stock, say a 5-year chart for your stock. It did take a hit. Was that over concern about the Quebec delays?
What we believe happened is we were the first new entrant into dissolving pulp in about the last 40 years. The underlying commodity took off, went to unsustainable levels, and we had sort of indicated that to our analysts and shareholders. So we expected it to have a pullback. But during that peak time, a lot of new entrants jumped in, said they were thinking of converting, and then they thought it was supposed to be a supply shock. Since then, quite a few of them have dropped off and said, no, we're not going to convert. It's just not the right facility for it. There are only a few or a handful of these types of mills that are ideally suited for conversion.
In the world?
Yes.
Your other business, of course, printing banknotes in Switzerland and for a lot of the Euro countries, and the wallpaper business in Dresden, in Germany. But the Quebec mill, that's your big asset.
Yes, it's the most impact that's going on in our company.
I mean, once everything's up and running, how much of the profits would you say would come from the Quebec mill?
If we acquired nothing else, probably about 80 to 90% of the overall profitability will come from this mill. But we are a growth story. We're holding nothing back. We are intending to conclude at least a couple more of these dissolving pulp mill conversions in the next 6 to 9 months.
Oh, wow. So you're going to become the player, it sounds like.
Yes, that's our goal.
Well, can we talk just about the banknotes in Europe? If the euro, can I ask a dumb question? If the euro collapses, is that going to mean all kinds of new business for you? Because they'll all need to print their own notes again.
Yes, absolutely. It'll be a boom for our smaller enterprise, our Langquart mill, where we make banknotes for quite a few of the euro countries. Unfortunately, that kind of collapse would harm our share price, and I'd rather see the euro stick together.
And then finally, the wall. What's special about the wallpaper you make? It's easy to take off the walls, is it?
Yes. The industry went through tough times. So about 5-6 years ago, the industry started to move to this non-woven product, where it's now dry strippable. You can get it off the walls. We represent now about 60% of the global industry for non-woven. Very strong, stable, consistently growing business, about 15% per year, and a very good, promising outlook.
And it saves energy in some way, this wallpaper?
We have several R&D initiatives. One of them is a thermal insulating paper. Currently, with a brick wall or a stucco wall, 70% of the heat goes through the wall. With our new thermal insulating paper, 80% of that heat is reflected back into the room.
That's amazing. That would be a big seller in Germany. I mean, they're upset. And Europe generally, they're pretty good about saving energy there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we'll be following with interest. It's great having you here.
Great. Thank you.
Chad Wasilenkoff, and he's the boss of Fortress Paper, FTP, on the TSX. Well, coming up, we're going to get a first-hand look